Hi, everyone. My name is Ken Barringer. I'm the Director of Healing, a grief and loss support program in Newton, Mass. And what we have for you here are 6 conversations, each one about 15 to 20 minutes long, with a different practitioner, someone who is supporting those impacted by grief and loss. These are very different approaches, and perhaps you'll find one that is helpful for you or for someone you care about. In any event, at the end of each conversation is the practitioner's contact information if you would be interested in getting more info about what they discussed. They're pretty casual. We hope you find them helpful. Best of luck and be well. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Ken Barringer. I am the Director of Healing, a grief and loss program based out of Newton, Mass, providing all sorts of counseling and support services for people who have been impacted by a loss of some type. And one of the things I know about counseling is that it is not for everybody, and there are other ways for people to get support and to help with their own care and their own wellness as they navigate changing life circumstances. So, with me today is Jessica Moran, a level 1 certified running coach and representing the Boston Bulldogs Running Club. And she will talk with us about running and wellness. And so, thanks for being here, Jessica. I appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It's been really great working with you the past couple months.
Yeah, it's been fun, and it's nice to see that, so many different disciplines and areas of life can collaborate towards the same goal. So you have been running. So you're a certified coach and you're a team leader with the Bulldogs.
Yes,
Can you-
I
can
actually
you-
got my certification this spring, but I've been running with the Bulldogs for over a year, and I've been a runner for about 4 years.
Uh-huh. How did you get into running as a way of support?
I was never a runner, like through school or anything else. It was not really something that drove me to want to do anything. It always felt awful. But I found as I was older, the community around running. I found a lot of people that would be running at different paces, and everyone was always pretty inclusive. And it felt like I could go at my own pace and I could find my own group, and really having that connection to other people who were struggling felt like it was the place to be.
It's so important, the sense of community, the sense of connection, and also this idea that, like, this isn't about performance.
Yeah.
This is about connectedness, and that's kind of been a theme for so many of the folks is doing what feels good to me and feels right to me, and not being concerned with like my time or my artistic work or my writing skills. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of how you landed at it too.
Yeah. I am not an elite runner. It took me several years just to run a few miles back to back without stopping to walk. I
Mm.
very much started with a walk run, just
Wow.
getting out there and moving my body just made such a difference with my recovery, my mental state.
Yeah. So you really didn't have like a background in this that you were going back to. You were
Not
kind
at
of
all.
starting fresh.
Yeah, I remember in high school they wanted us to run a mile. I don't think I ever ran a mile straight without walking.
Uh-huh.
That was not something I would willing to do. I did sports in school, but
Mhm.
I would do the bare minimum. It was just not anything in my wheelhouse.
Right. Did it feel I'm just sort of guessing, like, did it feel like intimidating to get into or anxiety
It
provoking?
definitely felt intimidating, and
Yeah.
I felt like I was going to slow people down or I was going to be a burden. So I would try to run alone, and running alone was awful. And then when I would run with people, I loved it, but then I would feel self-conscious and push harder than I probably should just to
Right.
be with people. And it would just always feel awful until I finally just, it honestly happened mostly with the Bulldogs. Once I joined the Boston Bulldogs, I love them so much. They say they don't let people run alone, no
Mm,
matter what your pace is. We always run in a group. We always have someone to run with somebody else, and it never feels like you're a burden to somebody because you're running slower than you would normally run, or
right.
pushing yourself and running a little bit faster than you would normally run. But it's really that sense of community and being there for another person on their journey.
Mhm. And I love what you said about never running alone,
Hmm.
because again, I think it's such a powerful metaphor that if I'm in a place where I'm suffering or I'm struggling or I'm recovering or whatever is going on with me, the sense of like being supported by somebody, being with somebody really would break down the isolation.
100%. And a lot of times it's hard for people who are dealing with loss or um, any kind of like trauma that they're trying to get past, to reach
Mhm.
out. So feeling comfortable enough to reach out and say I need help and I want someone here with me, and having that support and that community to be there for you and be willing to show up.
Yeah, I mean, hearing that, like the word that I sort of registered immediately was like courage.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
needing some courage to be like it takes a lot of courage to say,
Yeah.
help me with this, support me with this. Cause I think when you do that, you're acknowledging that like this piece of me is not okay.
Yeah. So the Boston Bulldogs, they have like three main principles, and it's self leadership, which is showing up for yourself and being responsible for yourself, transparency, and being forthcoming with what's going on with you, why you're struggling, what is going through your head, just being really transparent with whoever you're talking to, and then giving back. And that's like after I've been running for a while and there's someone new coming and they need help and they need to go slower, and that's me giving back, is like being there for someone. So it's the same idea with any kind of like recovery or
Right.
dealing with grief or dealing with trauma, is same idea, showing up for yourself and giving
Mhm.
back and being
Right.
open with where you're at.
I I love that. And those are like some, I mean, those are I imagine hard to do
Yeah.
sometimes, but
Yeah.
like little nuggets that we can really take with us to say, maybe my showing up is my caring for myself and
Absolutely.
creating space, creating time for that. And
Yeah.
I wonder if people go through a process of, the transparency being internal for a while
Oh yeah. I
and
think
what it takes for it to become external.
I think recognizing certain feelings or actions or whatever's going on inside, I think you need to recognize it for yourself to be able to be transparent for other people. I know I've definitely shown up, and I've had chats with coach and other people in our leadership program, and sometimes just talking with them, I will I will recognize something that's been going on with me that I didn't realize. So being able to be in that safe environment and feeling comfortable to talk about what's happening, they can help you to kind of discover and be transparent
Yeah.
with yourself and have that come out.
Yeah. And it sounds too like once you kind of take the plunge to externalize, all other kinds of stuff can happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Like, so it was showing up, transparency, and giving
Giving
back.
back. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. And gratitude. It's gratitude.
100%.
Mhm. Yeah.
100%. Like, you can't keep what you have unless you give it away. That's a lot of sayings that we've been told over the years. So because the Boston Bulldogs is a recovery program, a lot of the grief that I've personally dealt with is a lot through addiction and
Mhm.
loss
Mhm.
of um, family and friends who have
Sure.
lost their lives from overdose, or just we've just lost connection with them because they
Mhm.
can't bring
Mhm.
themselves back.
Right.
um,
Right.
and it's just, yeah, being in that
And,
setting.
and I would guess too, even like, because we talk about loss, not just as death, but also as psychosocial things too, like a sense
Oh,
of identity,
this is who I
that come
was.
with,
You know,
right, that may
I
come
was
with
an
the
addict.
caregiver.
I was, this was my identity for so many years.
Right, right.
Um, and it is, I talk about it. So every year, right before my anniversary,
Yeah.
I, they call it pre-medallion syndrome. So I, like PMS, I get a little anxious, and it's kind of reliving the trauma that happened during my using, when I tried
Right,
to get clean, when I did get
right.
clean, who I was before, the people who are not in my life anymore. It's a lot to reprocess, and it is a grief and a
Yeah,
trauma, even though it's not
completely,
death.
completely. And
Mhm.
and you have literally run your way through this.
100%. Yes. Yeah. I celebrated 15 years this past March. I've been clean
Congratulations.
15 years, and I've been running for about, like I said, 4 or 5 years, 4 years.
Wow.
And I started over 200 pounds at a 12-minute pace with walking and a running. And now I'm closer to 150 and a 9-minute average pace just for casual pace. I've run 4 marathons, and I just continue to kind of run and feel better about my body and my
Wonderful.
spirit, my mental health through
Wonderful.
running.
Yeah, really that physical and mental health intersection
There's so many
shine.
times where I've shown up for a run and I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be there at all. And I
Yeah,
was
I
very vocal about not wanting to be there. And
mhm.
halfway through the run, I felt amazing. And then afterwards, I was just super happy that I had done it. And it just kind of like worked through this like garbage feeling that I had prior to showing up.
Huh. So that's some of this is working with the doubts in your head,
Oh, yeah,
or the negativity or the naysaying, whatever it is.
exactly.
Um, if you can, and part of it, I guess, is owning that too, like
Hmm.
acknowledging that and working through it, and things somehow work out okay when you work through it.
Yeah. A lot of times too, especially with marathon training or like distance training,
Yeah,
your mind is going to fight you, and you're going to have the negative thoughts. Oh, you should just walk. Oh, you should just stop. Like this is
right.
hard anyways. So it's a lot of mental training in the sense of my body wants to stop, but I have to work on my mind to keep going and convince myself that I'm okay and that everything's okay. And it feels the same way when I'm processing
Hmm.
some kind of grief or
Sure, sure.
some kind of anxiety that I'm going through. It's the same thoughts. It's like don't stick in the thoughts. It's do something to push past your thoughts.
Right. And in this case, it's movement. And I love
Absolutely.
the idea too that, like, so if I'm hearing this, I can say, well, I've never run before. Um, but maybe I gotta literally learn to walk before I can
Go
run.
walk. Go for a walk. Absolutely. Learn to walk. And when you feel comfortable, do a few strides. Run from one telephone pole to the next and then walk 3 telephone poles. Just get out the door. A lot of times if we're just stuck in the house or we're stuck wherever we're doing and we don't allot time for ourselves to do something, then we're just going to be stuck. We're going to stay stuck. And I just remember
Right.
from early recovery, move a muscle, change a thought. Any muscle, get
Huh.
up, move, and it will change your thoughts. It changes all your thought process, your physiology, everything, just by moving your body.
Move a muscle,
Move
change a
a muscle,
thought.
change a thought.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
And do it at your own pace. And everyone started somewhere.
Right.
Most people are not elite runners. I think it's like 1% of the United States has run a marathon.
Uh-huh.
I run four, and I didn't start running until I was 33. How
Wow.
old am I?
Wow.
38. So you can get, anyone can run. And if you can't run for physical reasons or something's happening, you can
Yeah.
walk. You can still get out there and move.
But also like these takeaways too, right? That, like, if I'm not a runner, there are other things I can do, like
Absolutely.
movement. And I'm thinking about, like, you would use the word like getting unstuck, and I would say that, like, a large percentage of people who contact me for counseling, one of the first things they say is, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stuck in my grief. And so the idea of, like, moving your way through it so that you can get into the space to mentally do some of the work too. I
Absolutely.
love that intersection.
So a lot of times I
Wonderful.
don't even necessarily talk about what's bothering me on a run. but just
Mhm.
being out there running, being with
Sure,
people, showing up and
sure.
doing that. And then I can process my thoughts again after, or I can talk to someone after. I don't have to talk about it during the run.
During the time, right, right.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Oh, this is great. And this sounds like manageable. This
it is
sounds
manageable.
like doable because, for some people, physical issues, no history of it. And like the idea, I might immediately close the door. But I like what you're saying in terms of like literal baby stepping.
100%.
Oh,
They even have
yeah.
apps for it. They call it Couch to 5K, and you can put in whatever you're at, and it'll tell you like walk for 2 minutes, jog for 20 seconds, walk for 2 minutes, and they'll just get you up to where you're comfortable. And honestly, just find a local run club, find a
Wow.
community.
Wow.
Most runners want you to run, and they
And,
want you to want to run. So they just want you to show up, and they want
and
to be there to be supportive.
right. And that's what I think coming out of the pandemic now, we're all so needing anyway, because we're in this sort of whole cultural sense of loss.
Oh, yeah.
Is where's my community?
Mhm.
Where's my community? I love that app. What was it? Couch to 5K?
Couch to 5K, it's an app. Yep. So you
Wonderful.
can do it, Ken.
All right. I'm out there. Terrific. All right. Well, this has been great, Jessica.
Yeah.
So enjoyable speaking with you. Anything else for us before?
I mean, I would just say push past your fears. A lot of times it's just getting out the door or
Right.
showing up to a run club for the first time and knowing that you're
Right.
going to be slower, or
Right.
finding someone to run with you. A lot of times my sister, she's done a couple 5Ks, and she lives in another state, but she'll call me or she'll text me, and she's like, oh, I found a friend that's going to go do a walk run with me. Finding
Right.
someone.
Great.
And honestly, I think about donuts all the time. So if you can plan your run to end at a donut, that always makes it better. Highly
That
recommend.
would be my kind of run.
Absolutely. We call it a
Yeah.
donut 5K.
Yeah.
Get there however you get there, and you still get a donut.
All right. A little carrot and stick. I
Absolutely.
love it. Oh, this is wonderful. And like just a sense of like kindness to yourself to like
Yeah.
be okay
Yeah.
with what you got.
And giving back to yourself. Like, I think that was a lot too for someone in recovery, or just someone who might have like survivor's guilt, or
Mm-hmm.
any other kind of like, is being okay to allow yourself to be better, and allow yourself to work on yourself, and allow
Right.
yourself to do things that
Mm-hmm.
you didn't think you were able to do.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you, Jessica.
Oh, thank you so much.
Very appreciative of your time and your knowledge here and what you're passing on to the larger community.
This is
So,
great. And anyone can run with me anytime they want.
all right. Fantastic. All right,
All right.
Jessica, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Be,
Ken.
be well.